Hey everyone, welcome back to Midnight Screening. It's been a minute, but we're back. This is the show where we try and plan the perfect movie night, one film at a time. Today's film is The Nightmare Before Christmas. I'm your host, Nathan Lang. With me as always, I've got Josh K.
Yo, I just realized if this is planning one big movie night, that's a long night.
Mm.
It's just clicking.
It's only getting longer.
I
And Ty Hennessy is also here.
I am the captain now.
Yes, Ty is going to be editing from now on.
So
You
Uh,
know who to blame.
exactly.
I'm gonna have no idea what is in the episode. I'm just gonna post it and then
Oh,
That's a
sweet.
bold move.
Oh,
deal
yeah.
with fan
Let's
backlash.
go.
I say
Hey,
fan backlash.
hey, no
Deal.
matter what the comments say, it's still good for the algorithm, right?
That's true. Yeah. Any comment, any engagement is good.
Do you know what it's going to be? It's just
That's
going to
No.
be.
that's how it works.
It's just going to be an hour of like on loop Chris Evans and not another teen movie saying it's a banana split in that mankini thing. That's all it's going to be. Just an hour looped.
Uh, Nightmare Before Christmas.
That will be a nightmare before Christmas. Yes, you're right, Nathan.
Ayo.
Yes.
I'm realizing that the kind of opening I was gonna do is like throw out the window. So I'm gonna peek behind the curtain for anyone listening. We were supposed to have an extra person on today, but uh, plans change. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Plans change, people die or
Yeah,
cancel.
we we killed her.
I'll
Uh,
leave it up to you which one happened.
I mean, she survived camp at the weekend. She's doing good.
um, but yeah. So the guest we're gonna have on, I'll be honest, definitely knows more about this film than any of the rest of us. So we're gonna wing it a
I'm a
little bit.
genius when it comes to Nightmare Before Christmas. Know every
Um,
little trivia fact and detail. Totally.
um, I'm gonna do that really annoying thing that we just kind of have to do on the show sometimes, and I'm gonna start with some very obvious trivia, but we need to get it out of the way.
No
We all
way.
know who directed Nightmare Before Christmas, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, who? You have to answer the. You can't just say yes. It's
Yeah,
cheating.
that would. Yeah, that's cool. You just asked if we knew. Let's see. This is on
You also
you.
have to say the name of the person that directed Nightmare Before Christmas.
Tommy
It was
Wiseau.
Henry Selick.
It was
Hang
Henry
on a minute,
Selick.
Ty.
It was not Tommy Wiseau.
I now want a completely different movie. I've got to be honest. I'm now disappointed in what I did get.
Exactly. You imagine Nightmare Before
What
Christmas
it?
directed by Tommy Wiseau.
What is this? I'm fed up with this world. I'm going to Christmas world. It's
Oh, that would been amazing.
It'd
Yeah.
be a great movie.
Oh, hi, Jack.
Someone tweet Tommy Wiseau
You
right
know what I
now.
mean? Go on then, Nathan. You tweet Tommy Wiseau.
Oh no, yeah, no, I'll text Greg
And then
Sestero. My good friend Greg Sestero. I'll text
text
him right
Greg
now.
Sestero.
You've got the initial in. That's all you need.
Yeah, he retweeted me. We're friends.
We're on first name
Yeah,
basis. He knows
But
I'm
yeah, I know
Nathan.
his name. He knows my name.
He's Greg. I'm Nathan.
that's how that works for
Yeah,
sure.
I call him Greg.
For this reason, if you are listening, Greg Sestero, we do love you.
Yeah,
I'm not comfortable being collectivized into this we. I don't know this man.
that's a good point. We've never met Greg Sestero. He's just the
Yet.
guy that I tweeted.
Yet.
But we think we do like your work. Um, I read your book. Please come on our show.
Did you actually read his book?
I read The Disaster Artist. It's very good.
Wow, you're such a nerd.
It's a
I've
good
read the
book.
synopsis to the movie, The Disaster Artist. Does that count?
Guys, we're trying to get him on the show.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna start with this relationship on a bed of lies, Nathan. Okay.
Okay.
He'll call you a
Well,
nerd as
I've
well.
read Greg. I read The Disaster Artist. I think it's a very good book. I like
Nerd.
the movie as well. It's a shame that James Franco has so much control over that
Oh man.
now. That does suck for you. Um,
Yeah.
Big Shark looks interesting, if it exists or not.
Okay. Okay.
Anyway, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yes.
I totally forgot. We established Henry Selick directed it, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, because that is super important to the rest of the discussion. For anyone listening who does not realize, Nightmare Before Christmas is not a Tim Burton movie.
Thanks, Nathan. Forgot that bit.
It's not a Tim Burton movie, but it is Tim Burton's movie.
He produced it,
Yes,
didn't
it
he?
is. The official title of the movie is
Tim
Tim Burton's
Burton's
The Nightmare Before Christmas.
But he
Uh,
produced the film.
the best way, because it's a 90s film, so I'm going to use another 90s film to explain why the film's called that. 1983 indeed. You know the movie Bram Stoker's Dracula?
Yes.
Yeah.
Directed by Francis Ford Coppola and not by Bram Stoker, because he was incredibly dead by the 90s.
Unless he was a
Very
Dracula.
much so.
Unless he was Dracula.
Unless he is a Dracula, that is true. We don't know for certain Bram
Do you know,
Stoker's
do you know
not a
what I mean?
Dracula.
Maybe he just forgot the apostrophe. And instead of Bram Stoker's Dracula, it's Bram Stoker is Dracula. Like they're telling us, Bram Stoker's Dracula. There you go.
Maybe. I don't know. I've
mean,
never
you
met
know.
Bram Stoker.
You might be onto something here.
We might have met Bram Stoker, but he's just an old dude.
Bram Stoker, if you're a Dracula, then you're still alive, so you should also come on the show. Greg Sestero retweeted me once. We're very popular, so Vampire Bram Stoker, come on the show.
You know what? I want to see if it's just you. I might actually tweet Greg Sestero when we're done and just see what happens. Just see what happens.
Oh, I can't wait for Ty's ego to be crushed. Oh.
I'm not even. No. If I want my ego crushed, I'd tweet Adam Sandler.
That's never going to happen, you know? That's just setting unrealistic expectations for yourself.
But the worst thing
I'm
is,
sorry.
no one's ever. I've never tweeted. Officially, I've never actually tweeted before. So my first tweet could be aimed at a celebrity.
Wow.
Just get one of those accounts, you know, like tweeting Adam Sandler every day till he responds. Eventually, you know, he's got to.
Eventually, 40
Yeah, by
years down the
blocking
line-
you.
Yeah, he responded with what? A restraining order?
Well, maybe. I mean, he's doing his whole tour right now, so you never know. He could be in, like, high spirits.
We don't know.
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
We have derailed so many times already.
So anyway, Tim Burton's A Nightmare Before Christmas was
Tim Bur-
not
yes,
directed by Tim
directed by
Burton.
Tim Burton, it's directed by Henry Selick.
Directed
Tim
by
Burton
Henry
wrote...
Winkler. Cool.
Nope. No. Tim. What am I talking about? Tim Burton. That's his name. Tim
You got
Burton wrote a story called The Nightmare Before Christmas that he pitched to Disney for a very long time. I think the story is that because he worked at Disney as an animator. If you didn't know, I think we talked about that before on the Edward Scissorhands episode.
Yeah.
I believe he was pitching this as far back as working on The Fox and the Hound,
Dang.
which is the
originally
like.
a poem though. Like that was the whole thing. It was like he wrote like a Christmas poem. Though. It wasn't just like
Yeah,
a basic story.
With the
It
way
was
the
a
movie
poem,
play-
like-
yeah, the way the movie
It was a
plays
poem
out
that
is
was-
a poem.
It was a poem that he illustrated himself. Hence the title of the title being a pun on The Night Before Christmas. The poem.
Oh, here I wonder. Hang on. Keep going. And I found the poem. That is a long poem.
It's very long. Yes. It's good. It's very. If you've read any of Tim Burton's poetry, it's very that.
Tim Burton. Yeah, fun of that.
Yeah. There's a style to his poetry and to his illustrations and stuff that is. It's very love it or hate it. Because it's very on the nose and stupid. It's very stupid.
Yeah.
Wow. Can't believe you just called Tim Burton stupid.
I think call Tim Burton stupid. Like I think he's
He
very
called his stuff
purposefully
stupid.
camp and he's very camp and silly.
Yeah, you basically just called Tim Burton stupid. Disgraceful.
Yeah.
I like Tim Burton enough. I don't have
Welcome to
much
this-
vested interest in Tim Burton, to be fair.
Well done.
Great save,
Get to
great
Helena
save.
Bonham Carter's mansion. God, Nathan.
I say that I don't have much of a stake in Tim Burton. This is the second time we've talked about him, and this is episode 15.
I know, we
So
haven't
And it will
learned.
not. It will not be the last.
it's definitely not
definitely
going to
won't
be
be
the
the
last
last.
time.
No,
He's
'cause
unavoidable in
yeah,
this
he
scenario.
directed like Ed Wood and shit like that. He is unavoidable.
No, yeah, we can't talk about cult movies and not talk about Ed Wood eventually. Um, so yeah, he wrote this poem. He was pitching the film that he was planning to direct as far back as working on Fox and the Hound, which is I think that movie came out in the 80s, right?
Fox and the Hound.
Yeah, it's that kind of middling
Sounds right.
Disney era that no one cares about. So
1981. There you go.
it's 81. Okay, so he's probably pitching this as far back as the late 70s. Um, a young, fresh-faced Tim Burton looking like Edward Scissorhands. Uh, I don't think I need to explain that one. We talked about before that he looks just like Edward Scissorhands when he's younger.
Yeah, he
Minus
was
the
in
hands.
yeah.
Minus the hand. I mean the hair. Uh, and
He
the
was just Edward Hands.
Edward Fingerhands.
That somehow sounds like a creepier movie. Got
That
to be
sounds
honest.
worse, yeah.
Yeah, I
Like,
didn't
yeah.
think before I said that out loud, I'll be honest.
Do you want me to cut that from the recording, Nathan?
But, yeah, he pushed it back as far back as then, and Disney outright rejected it because animation wasn't making money at this time. So Disney, I mean, if you look at the Disney movies around then, they're playing it incredibly safe and still not making any money.
Yeah.
I'm gonna quickly Google Disney movies 80s because I can't even think of one off the top of my head. That's how here IMDb list here 1989. So Disney at this time were doing. She's showing me too many. I don't care about the live action movies. Go away. The Black Cauldron
Great
was
film.
after.
Underrated.
Black Cauldron is great, to be fair. But again, I mean, probably the animated film that's lost the most money of any animated film ever, other than Mars Needs Moms, obviously. Go back and listen to that episode.
Didn't
What else?
Basil also come out in the 80s?
Yeah, Great Mouse Detectives in
That was a
'86.
great film.
Oliver and
I don't think it's
Company?
Oliver and Company. Yes,
Oh, here I'm.
The Billy Joel musical about a cat,
Gets
voiced by
friends with
Joey
dogs.
Lawrence.
Wait,
Uh,
wasn't Little Mermaid in '89 though?
Aha!
Oh,
This is my point. Thank you, Josh.
ah,
This is what I'm coming to. So yes, right, '89, right at the end of the decade. Yeah, they released a little movie called The Little Mermaid, which is a very safe animated film, really. You know, it's an old story that everyone knows already. You know, it's an old folktale. It's a princess film. Nice, easy, distract your kids with movie. The difference is The Little Mermaid's incredible,
Mm-hmm.
and it makes so much money that as soon as that thing goes out and people see it and people love it, it's critically acclaimed. It's making Disney money hand over fist. The higher up at Disney realize, oh, people like animation. They just want good movies. So they start greenlighting anything. This is obviously what we call the Disney Renaissance. Uh, it's
yeah.
debated how far the Renaissance goes from Little Mermaid, but you've got the obvious ones: Aladdin, The Lion King. Uh, what's the other one? Beauty and the Beast.
Alright. I was like,
I
there's so
forgot
many.
Beauty and the Beast.
Like, do you know how many movies Disney
Um,
released in like the 90s?
Yeah, we're talking about right in the start of the 90s. You got the proper Renaissance. It's debated how far it goes after that because you start dealing with your Pocahontases and Hunchback of Notre Dame's and Mulan's and things. It becomes a mixed bag towards the end of the 90s, is what I'm trying to say. But they're like greenlit and everything.
Yeah.
So they find this script pitched by Tim Burton, who I don't know if you guys know off the top of your head. Little Mermaid came out in 1989. Do you know what other film might be relevant to this story in 1989?
Well, I'm gonna. Oh, Batman.
Batman.
Yes. 10 nerd points. Yay.
Good job. So Tim Burton is
That sounded condescending.
that was legitimate. Like, yeah, like I didn't warn you I was gonna do that. So, I know if you said something like that to me, all knowledge of film would go out of my head. So, but yeah. By the early 90s, Tim Burton is one of the most famous filmmakers on the planet.
Yes.
And really, so he's coming off.
So,
Yeah, he's coming off the back of Beetlejuice. He's coming off the back of Batman. Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
We didn't talk about Pee Wee's Big
Yeah,
Adventure.
that's what made Tim Burton Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
I panicked. Okay, I can't think of another. That may be about it. To be fair, what he's like his big movies by then.
At that point, yeah, I think so.
I'm scrolling. He's Big Adventure, Beetlejuice, and Batman. Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
But I mean, Beetlejuice and Batman coming out about a year apart.
Yeah, 2 out of 3 is not bad.
He's very famous. He's very famous by this point. When Nightmare's greenlit, he's working on Edward Scissorhands, and he's asked to come back. He's worked in stop motion before when he was a student, and when he was working at Disney, he made Vincent, which is a stop motion film, and the live action short Frankenweenie, which is confusing because that did become a stop motion feature later.
That is
Shelf that. That's a whole
much
whole
later.
It's a whole other story for a whole other episode. We can't go into everything Tim Burton's ever done. Considering this isn't a Tim Burton movie.
That's actually in the
as established up
bed,
top.
so I'm going to have to mute myself for literally a second. Keep talking, I'm just going to mute the
Okay, that's
input.
fine. But yeah, so Burton's asked to come back, and he'd love to. His dream film is finally being made. The issue being is that he is signed on to do Batman Returns, so he can't do it because he's got a Batman movie to make.
Which was great as well. Love that movie.
It's a fantastic. I think it's the better of the two.
Ooh, controversial opinion. They both have their own merits.
Yeah, but only one's got Danny DeVito.
Yeah, I was about to say that exact thing.
That's the only metric I'm using. Both of those films are like 5-star, brilliant films, but one has the Danny DeVito as a creepy little goblin man. So
Penguin Man.
sorry, yes, creepy little penguin man.
Well,
He's really creepy
his
in
name.
that movie, though. Like,
He's great in that movie.
he's so good. He's terrifying.
Absolute masterpiece. Just
Yeah.
oh, what a beautiful man.
Oh, was the masterpiece there just Danny DeVito?
Yeah, the movie was pretty good too, but oh, Danny DeVito. Anyway, yeah, so Tim Burton could do the movie.
He did the movie. He's making Batman Returns. So Disney decided strike while the iron's hot. We don't know how long this whole animation Renaissance thing is going to last. Which is fair. I mean, that's good. So we have to make it. We have to make it right now. So they hire Henry Selick. Henry Selick is an animator. He's a stop motion guy.
I mean, he's a good choice for it.
Is. I don't think I can think of many things he did before Nightmare Before Christmas. I can think of a lot he's done since, because, I mean, he is an animation legend by this point.
Yeah, because, since then he has done the world famous James and the Giant Peach, along with some other games. Oh, just for that reaction.
There was a part of me that thought you were going to say Monkey Bone, to be fair.
That'd been pretty funny too. Yeah.
But yes, also...
Yep. Coraline.
There you go. Also Coraline.
Which beautiful film as well.
I'm looking at it right now. According to IMDb, he also worked on. He was an in-between artist on Who Framed Roger Rabbit, character animator on Great Mouse Detective, and Black Cauldron. So he was around at Disney. I feel like
That makes sense, though.
probably just a guy they gave a shot to, because they realized that there was enough tenuous links to Tim Burton to call it Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas, and trick people into seeing it that way. But here's where I think the film's strength lies, and it might sound vaguely controversial considering I like all of Tim Burton's work in the 90s. Yes, I went through all of them in my head there. I think that's true.
Would you say
Planet of the Apes
all or
isn't until the
most?
all question mark.
Oh, really?
Have I forgotten a 90s Tim Burton film that's like...
Oh, 90s Tim Burton film.
Yeah, not all Tim Burton films.
Give me a second.
Like I like all the stuff he did in this era.
You mean the big ones?
I'm just gonna look at it now.
Yeah, so am I.
Wait, Tim Burton produced James and the Giant Peach? Oh, hold up.
It's not that surprising, is it?
Wait, you like Mars Attacks?
I find that's pretty funny.
Okay, Mars Attacks I think is where he starts to lose me a little bit.
Cabin Buddy?
But like a roundabout, so this is 93, Beetlejuice is 88, Batman's 89, Edward Scissorhands is 1990, Batman Returns in 92, Ed Wood in 94. Like, we're in the peak Tim Burton era right now.
Sleepy Hollow as well is pretty solid.
Sleepy Hollow's pretty good. It gets weird from there.
Yeah, what the hell is Cabin Boy and his singles?
But yeah, as much as I like a lot of Tim Burton stuff at this point, I think the strength Nightmare has is that it's not a Tim Burton movie.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't directed by Tim Burton. And that is because Henry Selick, maybe out of, first time director fear, does not stray from his source material and what was played in front of him in the slightest. Meaning that this is one of the most satisfyingly to the point movies of all time. There is no fat on this thing at all. There is barely any dialogue that isn't a musical number.
Sure.
There is barely any set pieces. There's nothing that doesn't need to be in it. It's bada bing, here's the plot, and we're out.
Yep. I remember when I watched it again for this, I forgot how short the film was. I was genuinely surprised. It's like, what, an hour and 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't stop. Which is great.
It's such a strength. We have a friend, Andrew, who has a thesis that every movie is 20 minutes too long. Which I think for the most part he's right. My one caveat would be, except for A Nightmare Before Christmas, because this is the only movie where I can't think of a single scene that would be cut, because every single scene is like the plot of the movie.
True.
Which, if this was a Tim Burton movie, that would not be the case. Tim Burton movies are meandering messes. That's often their strength, to be fair. They're charming. But Edward's I fully just named the most bloated one I could think of from this era. Instead of saying Tim Burton's name. Yeah, his movies could do with a trim sometimes. Maybe other than Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice is pretty short.
Yeah, but like, you can say that about most films, especially nowadays. They seem to just drag on more.
Well, movies are just getting longer. Like,
so much. Like, have you seen the new Avatar runtime estimate or something?
oh yeah, I was gonna say I feel like I'm already limbering up for Dune 2, but yeah, you're right. Avatar's closer.
Yeah,
How
so
long is Avatar 2 meant to be?
3 hours and something.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And it's
Just
movie
insane.
2 of 5.
Wow.
Why?
Uh,
I thought we were done with Avatar.
yeah, but James Cameron isn't. The rest of us are, but he isn't, and he directed Terminator 2, so he gets to do whatever he wants.
Nathan, tweet at James Cameron, tell him to stop.
Nah, I mean, have you seen Terminator 2? Like,
Yes.
oh, yeah, he can do what he wants.
You seen Avatar?
That's fair, yeah, but he did Aliens.
Cool. He's done two
Like,
great movies.
I'm fine. I'm honestly fine letting James Cameron just mess around with his little tech projects if he feels like it.
Yeah,
He's earned it.
Remember the last guy that got the ability to do that? It was Michael Bay, and look what happened.
No, Michael Bay didn't earn that. Michael Bay just said he was gonna do that,
In Transformer movies has there been?
and he's an angry, scary man, so no one told him no.
That is true.
That's just genuinely what happened with Michael Bay. You want to get in a fight with him?
I've never really seen him, so maybe. Give me a second.
No, he is an intense man. He told you ever heard the story of it's just so off topic, won't tell anyway. You ever heard the story of him telling Ben Affleck to shut the fuck up?
I could beat him
No.
in a fight.
Yeah, he there's this great story. It's actually if you have I think I've got it actually. The DVD for Armageddon and you listen to the audio commentary. I do have Armageddon. I don't know if I have the right one or not though. I'll need to check. If we ever do Armageddon as an episode. But there's an audio track with Ben Affleck. And at one point he's talking about how stupid the plot to the movie is.
Yeah.
And then he goes, I asked Michael why it would be easier to train oil drillers to be astronauts than to teach astronauts to use a drill. And he looked at me and said, "You shut the fuck up," and just walked away. So,
Democracy.
probably not the nicest guy to work with.
Yeah, but still,
He's not important to this
I
story.
could beat him in a fight. I could fight Michael Bay. It'd be easy.
Um,
Nathan, tweet Michael Bay. Say I want to fight.
I'm definitely not getting a retweet from Michael Bay.
Not with an attitude like that, you're not.
Exactly. Like I'm offering. I'm offering Michael Bay a square
after
go.
after this episode, all my Twitter is going to be is me tweeting random celebrities vaguely connected to topics from the show.
I'll fight him for the net worth of the Transformers movies. I'll make like I don't know, couple million.
Oh, those film made bank, man. Those are
I know. But fight to the death for the net worth of the Transformers movies.
But yeah, so yeah, we're talking about this movie. Is like, I think you would be perfectly right. Actually, Josh, it is like an hour 20, isn't it?
I watched it this morning, and I think it was an hour. It's an hour 16. There you go.
Hour 16.
That's very close.
Which
That is
is
a
like-
lean movie.
It's like a short film nowadays.
Yeah, it's not even 90 minutes. Like, which is the average for like a quick film. And I do think part of that is it's an untested director. He doesn't want to step out of his boundaries too far.
True.
Yeah.
Which is again one of the things this film has going for it is that it sticks as close to its source material, which was already like this really cool, interesting, campy, fun, original story. No one had really done anything quite like it before. It's adapted virtually perfectly. To the point where like the models they've built, they look exactly like the illustrations. Like it's 1-to-1 in points, which is very impressive. But the other thing I was going for is virtually the opposite thing, and that is that the studio, the Walt Disney Corporation, separated themselves as far as they could from this thing out of fear of it bombing, that there was virtually no creative restraints on it at all.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you may notice that I watched this on my laptop. So for the first time, I watched it on Disney Plus, and seeing the Disney logo in front of this film it's an uncanny valley thing for me that doesn't belong there.
Yeah, I watched them.
No, this film. Yeah, this film was initially distributed by a Disney subsidiary called Touchstone, and Touchstone essentially exists.
Touchstone.
Yeah, Touchstone essentially exists so that Disney can produce things that don't quite fit the brand, just to kind of see what happens, and if they fail, they can sweep them under the rug because we didn't do that. Touchstone did.
The Mask.
Yep. Which is
Um,
genius. Like, just
which
don't accept any of the blame. Sorry.
it is, yeah. Like, and this was one of those films they were ready to sweep under the rug because, um, to their credit, this film's premise is insane.
I wouldn't say insane, wacky. No,
How
insane,
would a
yeah.
character go through a Christmas store and then decides to become Father Christmas? Nah,
Look,
completely
today, today, this is a film that you greenlight this kind of film. This is made tomorrow. Like, you pitch this, you're getting a Netflix deal, easy. But that is because we live in a world post the Nightmare Before Christmas. Like, this film is the reason we have a Coraline and a Paranorman and a
Frankenweenie.
Frankenweenie. That'll do. I was gonna just say insert third scary kids film.
Monster House.
Monster House. That's a good one. Actually.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm looking at the film
And
that came
thought
out
about
in
that one.
1993 just to see if there's anything like almost like acutely
Well,
mental.
this is in Disney, like the actual Disney. What do they call them? The Disney animated classics.
Uh-huh.
This is
Yeah.
sandwiched between like The Lion King and Beauty and the Beast. So like,
Right.
they're not making stuff like this. No one is making stuff. Not for children. Like,
No.
It's because it's not a kids' film, really. I mean, kids. The thing with this, right, is it's not a case of it's not a kids' film because it's too scary for kids. If your kid's too scared of this film, the kids need to grow up here.
this film is delightful.
It's more just that you can't appreciate it properly until you're like an age. I remember watching this as a kid and loving it, but then watching it again as an adult and just it's better because you see so much more and there's just a simplicity and an elegance to it that you don't appreciate
Yeah.
because as a kid you're like, "Ooh, cool skeleton."
I didn't realize until like when I was in high school and I rewatched this film is that as a child I had no idea what was going on at all during Jack's lament.
Yeah,
Because everything he's talking about is a reference that's straight over my head. He does like a joke about Othello
Yeah.
because he's a skeleton man.
Maybe I should have watched this as a kid so I could have appreciated it more as an adult.
you didn't watch this as a kid.
No.
Oh,
Oh
poor
my,
boy.
Ty, you have proven a theory of mine.
I have proven with you. Okay, go.
Yes, we were talking off pod. That's how I know. I know this. I haven't just read Ty's mind. Ty, briefly, what's your thoughts on this movie? How do you feel about this? Me and Josh have lavished praise on it. What do you think?
It's fine.
And once again, Ty, when did you first see this film?
Oh, properly. 1 minute. Yesterday.
Okay.
Wow.
I've seen bits and bobs here and there. So like, I knew about the Boogeyman. I knew about bloody Jack Skellington. I knew roughly about the Christmas store, and I knew the song "This Is Halloween."
Oh yeah.
That's pretty much
That
it.
makes sense.
I
To be
didn't
fair,
remember actually, yeah,
you're
for-
friends with me, and
Yeah.
we've had Halloween parties together, so you've
Yes.
definitely heard the song "This Is Halloween."
Yeah. I've never fully sat down and like watched it all the way through.
Um, I've had this theory for a while because I've talked to a few other people who have seen it more recently for the first time, who have given me the same response of, "Is that it?" Basically.
Like,
Wow.
yeah, I'm not saying
Um,
like I'm not saying it's that. It's just like for a movie, it's a solid down the middle movie. I gave it 2.5 stars out of 5, so it'll be a 5 out of 10. It's a solid down the middle movie, but like
Oh, Ty, you can stop. My soul.
I compared it. I compared it to other Tim Burton's work. That's what I do when I watch movies. Like if I know it's been directed by someone and I've seen other movies like those, then I kind of like compare them.
So
Mhm.
So like Ashley's,
my observation.
Ashley's
Oh,
very
sorry,
This isn't Tim Burton's work. Oh, so
even produced. Like I looked at his produced, then I looked at his directed.
So my observation here, and again, it's something speaking about for a while. Ty, I didn't expect it to work quite this well.
Okay.
You even said middle of the. You said middle of the pack. You give it a 5, like straight in the middle.
Yeah.
And I think we if we rewind a little bit, me and Josh have been praising this movie for its simplicity, right?
Uh-huh.
Um, but I think there's a subconscious thing if you haven't seen it before, if it isn't a film you either saw like at the time that you just sort of stumbled upon it when it was bubbling under, and you watched it and you're part of the reason it's huge,
Yeah.
or if you saw it growing up when you didn't have a perception of what movies tend to be like and structure and yada yada. The way this film is talked about in pop culture, the way that Disney have like reclaimed it as like they meant it to be huge all the whole time and they were always on board with it. That they'll like decorate Disneyland every Halloween to look like Halloween Town, and like there's a Kingdom Hearts level based on it, and every hot topic around the world has Jack Skellington merchandise and whatever.
Yeah, Ashley has jammies.
Yeah, like you'd presume this film was more of a film, I guess, like it you'd expect a Lion King, you'd expect something big, something grand, and this film is a lean little thing with like 5 characters in it.
Yeah. I'd expect more of a thing at the end.
That's it just yeah, it's the most in and out movie of all time, by which I mean the second that the main plot is over,
It's done.
the movie is over.
Yeah.
Like the movie stops. Um, and I think there is a thing with like the way that how big this film is. It's like talking to people.
Yeah.
Like I saw a lot of the classics, like the proper classics when I was younger, like quite little, and I'm forever quite lucky about that because I find myself defending things like Citizen Kane to people that have seen them more recently, because like the build up of those films, like you're expecting something earth shattering, and it's nothing is what like Citizen Kane is projected to be. No
No.
film will ever be what that is like supposed to be, the way it's held up. But it's a fantastic movie. It's great. I did not know what Citizen Kane was supposed to be when I saw it, and I'm thankful for that because I have a appreciation for that film. Uh, Not that I'm calling this movie Citizen Kane
I wouldn't.
before anyone gets mad at me.
yeah,
It's not that
safe.
good. It's gonna clarify Henry Selick isn't Orson Welles. I understand that. Um, but it's a really good, solid, fun movie that some people treat like it's the greatest thing that ever happened. And yeah, it's never gonna be able to live up to that to people, and that's understandable. Like I get when people don't like this film. I just kind of feel sorry that you didn't grow up with it.
Yeah. I mean, like when I watched it, like I turned around, like Ashley went, what do you think? And I told her, she got mad, like straight up. She was like, one of her excuses was, it's older than you, it should garner your respect. I went, no. Respect is earned. And then,
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Like Bill Cosby's older than
yeah,
me, but
I ended the argument by
An
going,
interesting choice, Nathan.
you're better.
I don't respect him.
I ended the argument by saying, you're the girl that said Shawshank Redemption was meh. You have no opinion. That was it.
To be fair, she said films that are older than you should garner respect. Shawshank is the same age as you,
Yes.
therefore
But-
she doesn't have to respect it.
No, it's older than her.
It is older than her.
She
That
was
is
born
true.
in 1985. I'm just saying. Like, you know, I'm just saying. I love
Um,
a lot of
but you know,
classics, but you know.
this is the kind of film that will like. I think I used to be like that with this film. I'm like that with no films now. To be fair,
Um,
I've spent too long talking about films on the internet to be defensive.
yeah.
Um, but this is a film that like yeah, people who
I
grew up
mean,
with it will yeah, they will
yeah.
be very passionate about it, and I think it comes through in both me and Josh as well. To be fair.
I mean, I'm defensive about one movie, but I just like it's funny arguing about it.
Well, to be fair, the one movie we're talking about, that you're talking about there, sorry, is that's a nostalgia thing for you as well, right?
Yes.
Um, so there's probably an element of that. Like, I'll admit that a lot of my love for this movie comes from,
Nostalgia.
yeah, it was probably the first like horror themed thing I saw that wasn't a Scooby Doo episode, you know?
Oh
And
wow. I can't even think of my first
I
horror type film.
I'm the showrunner of this show.
Mm.
So if that doesn't tell you how much horror has meant to me over the years, then
Wait, I do
you've not
remember.
been paying attention.
I do remember my first horror type movie that wasn't a Scooby Doo episode.
hmm
It was Starship Troopers.
That is an insane first horror.
Yeah, it was the brain bug, man. It was the
You
brain bug.
never saw like you ever saw like a labyrinth or never-ending story or something? Yikes!
Nope.
Ghostbusters.
No, I never watched Ghostbusters till after. After. How old was I when I
I
watched?
I was so
Oh
scared you were gonna say I didn't see Ghostbusters till we covered it.
no, no,
Like
no! I'd seen Ghostbusters. No, no. Oh god. I think I was like 10 when I watched Ghostbusters. I think I was
okay,
like.
that's a good age for Ghostbusters.
I think I was like 8 or 9 when I watched Starship Troopers.
Wow, that's somewhat
That
impressive.
is young for Starship Troopers to be fair.
Yeah.
And that's coming from me. You've heard the stories I've told on this show.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was pretty much like my first. Unless I'm thinking that's my first like outer child horror stuff. No, I think that's literally it. Because I didn't watch like Freddy and Jason and all that till I was like 11.
So you're old enough to sneak watching Freddy and
Understand?
Jason movies.
Yeah, understand the horror. Oh wait, shit! No, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. It's not Starship Troopers. It was it.
Oh, the uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
Stephen.
the
Yeah, Stephen. Yeah,
the TV movie, yeah.
yeah. It came on TV when I was like 7 or 8, and I watched it.
Yeah, I feel like that's quite a common like
To this,
childhood trauma movie. That's yeah.
yeah, to this
Uh,
day, you know when you walk from like the back of the church forward and you pass the balcony.
mm.
To this day, I cannot walk past that without looking back. Like if I'm in the church alone, I look back just in case there's a fucking clown. You know what I mean? Legitimately.
um. Well, yeah. So we're
Anyway,
talking about
childhood trauma.
yeah, yeah. But we're talking about the yeah connection people have this movie, and some people just don't
Yeah.
have that. Um. And yeah, I think it is just this film isn't what. It's not that it's not what's advertised. It's just that it's only what's advertised. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make sense, Josh? Does that make sense as someone who's very much on my side?
Um, yeah, I think as a film, when you watch it as a kid, though, yeah, you're watching, you're like, oh, this looks really cool, fun songs, Santa Claus, wahoo. That bit sums it up as a kid, right?
Yeah.
Not far off. And then you watch it again as an adult, and you just realize there is more to it than you realize as a kid, and it's really what it looks beautiful. The music is some of the greatest Danny Elfman compositions ever.
Oh, I've got a lot to
And
say about that. Don't you worry.
oh, I know you do. I know you do. And all that. But so when you watch it again as an adult after having watched it as a kid, it is largely just oh, this is really nice. But I suppose if I've never really thought of if you hadn't seen it as a kid, because I just kind of assumed everyone had a decent childhood and saw this film. apparently some people didn't.
Well, it's simultaneously like a really iconic film that everyone knows about, but it's also like niche. Like it's a niche thing to show a child, you know?
Yeah, I feel like I always just assume a lot more people have seen it than actually have. Like I get surprised more and more about how many people
Yeah,
didn't see this as a kid.
I think we both had the same experience. At least I'm presuming, just based on um conversation we've had about other films from we watched as children. Um, are you the same that like your parents saw this like on their own, like they just liked this movie, and therefore showed it to you specifically?
Yeah, they were like, I like this movie, and you're sitting in the
Yeah,
room. I'm not going to stop watching this movie just because of that. And then I saw the movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly same story. Yeah, this was bizarrely the only DVD my parents owned for years.
Oh, that's. Huh.
Like when like they both moved out of like their respective like Chelsea homes and got a flat together. So like they didn't own a lot of physical media anymore. They owned this. Like just this.
That feels so
Uh,
random. I
it
mean,
is. It's
fair
the copy
enough.
and at least I think it is. It's the copy I still have. It's the my one now.
Wow.
Also the DVD that like traumatized me as a child because Vincent is on there and Vincent is terrifying.
Not actually seen Vincent, but
You see,
okay.
Vincent's really good, but it's like it freaked me out at 9 or whatever.
Yeah, well, from what I know about Vincent, fair enough.
Bearing in mind I didn't know who Vincent Price or Edgar Allan Poe were.
Yeah.
I didn't know what was going on.
Hmm. Yeah, no,
But
that's probably fair.
Josh, you named one of my favorite people on the planet, so can we talk about him?
You want to talk about Danny Elfman?
I want to talk about Danny Elfman.
Okay, let's talk about Danny Elfman.
I want the listeners to hear the sigh in Josh's voice when he said that, and then remember that he leaped praise on this man a few minutes ago.
I love Danny Elfman. Don't get
Yeah.
me wrong.
The
You
problem
just love
is,
him more.
yeah, is that Josh has heard me rave about how great Danny Elfman is for a very long time.
A long, long time. And
I think
I think you've still got a bit of a bias towards him.
I do. I have a major. I think the uh, the thing with us and Danny Elfman is that it was a big part of the reason we're friends, or like became friends, is that we have very similar opinions on a lot of things. You know,
Yeah,
we like a lot of the same movies, especially.
yes, very true.
So when we've been hanging out for a while, and there was a movie type thing we just completely disagreed on, that was a huge deal. And it still kind of is if you've heard us argue about Dune on this show.
Oh, don't get me started. Dune.
Like Dune, the quality of Dune might have been like the biggest argument we'd had in years because it's just weird when we disagree.
It's, mm,
And yeah, I think there was something about the fact that we didn't have the same favorite film composer that at the time just felt strange and wrong.
true. And especially felt strange wrong because you were so wrong.
Like I've come to terms with the fact that it's not the usual pick. It's not one of the normal picks to pick
Because
Danny
it's the
Elfman.
wrong pick.
I can't think of a Danny Elfman score that I don't love though.
But that's the thing. Sure, I'm not saying he's done anything bad, but they're just nowhere near as memorable. He's also done some stuff like, did you know he did the 50 Shades score?
He did, but I haven't heard that.
See, but it just helps to prove that point. He's done some dodgy stuff. Like,
Yeah, he's
I
all
mean,
over the place.
I'm not even saying it's like it's bad stuff. It's just, it's not the
No, I
great.
think to better pronounce your opinion. Do you want to tell people who your favorite is?
My favorite is the default favorite because he is the greatest film composer to ever lived. John Williams, of course.
There you go.
From
Yes.
Indiana Jones to Star Wars to Jurassic Park to Jaws. Just, I mean, blooming Harry Potter. Like, what's that man not done that's to love? And the best part of that is it's all memorable songs as well. Whereas Danny Elfman, for his memorability, he's got Nightmare Before Christmas, and I don't know, like Batman. Can't
Yeah,
really remember any
the
of his.
Batman themes really. I did look
Can't,
up before this. I looked up like I found one list. It was like the top 10 Danny Elfman songs,
and are
and I
they
was
all
like,
from Nightmare Before Christmas?
8 of them are from Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, and was one of them Batman?
No,
Oh, what were the
the
other
other
two?
two were from Corpse Bride.
Oh my! Yeah, that checks out.
um,
No, well,
which
here's
is
the
fair. I
thing.
mean,
I'm not here to shit on Danny Elfman. Not at all what I'm doing. But he just what he does is good, but it's just not above and beyond. Whereas even if you take Hans Zimmer, for example, with the Gladiator soundtrack, the Dark Knight soundtrack, he did Dune, which again, okay, the Pirates of the Caribbean soundtrack, which is probably one of the most iconic character themes ever. Even the Sherlock Holmes soundtracks he did were great. And that's Hans Zimmer. And then you could go to Howard Shore if you wanted, who created the most seamless, beautiful masterpiece of a soundtrack for Lord of the Rings. And John Williams, who is the most iconic person ever. And you still say your favourite
my
is Danny
favorite is
Elfman.
Danny Elfman. My favorite is the guy from Ongo Bongo.
It's just
That was the
wrong.
name of Danny Elfman's band. If anyone's confused by that joke, I think it is just.
Just
I
wrong.
mean, Hans Zimmer's a good example. Zimmer has like a very particular style that like he molds into what he's doing very seamlessly. But like, I mean, if I said to you the Hans Zimmer sound, you know what noise I mean.
Yeah. But he
That
gets
was
away
almost
with
it, really.
it.
It goes wow.
But then it goes into things like that. Nope, that was completely wrong. No, it wasn't. I can sing.
Oh, right,
Not
yeah.
gonna. Yeah, at the moment. But
You're in
like,
Pirates of the
it's
Caribbean,
just
right?
yeah, Hans Zimmer is memorable, and this is where it comes when you're a movie soundtrack producer. You need two things mainly. You need it to seep into the film to add to it, and not to take you out of the film to be like, that's a weird soundtrack. But it also got to be memorable. If you can't hear a film soundtrack and instantly think of that film, you've done it wrong. And if you hear the Jack's theme, he is a pirate, you instantly picture Jack Sparrow swinging across some docks. You know, if you
Absolutely.
picture Concerning Hobbits from Howard Shore, instantly you're in the Shire. And if you picture any of John Williams' soundtracks, you know where you are. You just do. And you become terrified of the ocean. But Danny Elfman, like if I was to play you like the Coraline soundtrack, it's a good soundtrack, but you're not gonna know that it's from Coraline. You
You
just be
make a
like,
point
that's a
of
cool
like,
soundtrack.
yeah, if you hear a Danny Elfman theme, um, -1, which we'll get to in a minute, you immediately think of Danny Elfman before you think of the thing. Um, unless there's words to it, because that makes it slightly easier. Hence, why that list focused on uh, this film and Corpse Bride.
Yep.
Because there's singing on those that tell you which film it is. In Remains of the Day's case in Corpse Bride, they say the name of the movie quite a bit.
Yeah, it's just a sheet, but it works.
It's a good song though.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like yeah, Elfman's it's you have an orchestra that is very violin heavy, and there's a choir that sounds kind of creepy, and that's everything he does. And I just like that vibe a lot, you know.
I do too.
Like
I'm not saying it's bad, but it's just
no shit, it's a very personal like it's just a sound I like a lot more than most sort of classical style movie soundtracks, and that is, I mean, particularly when we're talking John Williams. Nothing against John Williams, like I mean, you're talking there about the Jaws theme, you're talking there about Jurassic Park and whatever. Of course, I love those. Who doesn't? um, but I was thinking because I was like, thinking about Danny Elfman. There, I referenced there was one theme he did that I don't think necessarily fits in to everything. I don't know if we'll have a chance to talk about it again. Do you know what I'm thinking of?
which Danny Elfman theme? Not off the top of my head.
Um, I was thinking of The Simpsons.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. He did do The Simpsons.
He did
That
do
is
The
true.
Simpsons theme. Which is the point I will always use when people are like, "Why is Danny Elfman your favorite?" Like everything he does sounds the same. I'm like, yeah, and The Simpsons.
except that one, so it doesn't quite
Which,
count.
to be fair, it still has the same choir going, The Simpsons, at the start of it.
Have you guys been talking about composers for like 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But I
So,
mean, if you want to talk about, I mean, you can't tell me you don't hear ba 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 da ba ba, and not have the same feeling you have towards like dun 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 dun. Like
see, that's the thing.
that's the same thing.
I never really grew up watching The Simpsons.
But here's the thing: that is one song.
Yeah, I'm totally cheating right now by honing in on one particular theme that isn't in this movie.
Well, again, Daniel, and the soundtrack to Nightmare Before Christmas is great. The songs in it, and I mean, the fact they got Danny Elfman to sing it instead of the voice actor
Oh, thank
was
goodness.
a bold choice, and it was great because it worked out. And it meant that the songs were exactly as he wanted them to be. It was great. And again, I think Danny Elfman is amazing at what he does. But to say he's your favorite,
I think we'll just forever have to agree to disagree on the Danny
I'll
Elfman
convert you
debate.
one day. One day,
I
I'll
don't think
convert
you will.
I'll use. I'm determined.
I've got my head in the sand with Danny Elfman. Like, you've got more chance of converting me to hating Dune than to backing
You know,
down on this one.
I'll take it. I'm going to redirect my efforts.
I mean, listen, if you want to sit down for like 10 minutes talking to my dad about the new Dune, he'll probably redirect your feelings.
I agree with your dad that the David Lynch movie's very good as well. I just like both of them.
No, he watched the new one. He said it was horrible.
Yeah, like your dad is
It
way too
was.
close to the. Right, I'm not here to. I can only defend one thing at a time.
You can argue with Drew. On you go. I mean, your funeral.
I mean, I'd rather not.
Yeah, same.
But yeah, we should probably dive. We should probably just do some deep dives into things that actually happen in the movie. 'Cause we've not done a lot of that yet.
Oh yeah,
I
we're
know.
talking about a film, not Danny Elfman.
We're talking about Danny Elfman, the
Fantastic.
guy. What with
What are you eating?
Oh yeah, sorry. I'm eating some chocolate covered peanuts right now.
Of course you are.
Oh, that's adorable. I've got wasabi peas.
I have nothing. I feel left out.
I always bring
Aw.
snacks when we're recording.
Also, I feel like I'm feeling as a fat man.
Oh, trust me, Ty, you're feelings of fan.
I did have
So,
Alright.
dinner like an hour before recording, so I'm good.
Ty, just because you're recording and not me, what time are we at?
You think I can see that? It actually isn't telling me how long we've been recording for. I just know we're recording.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Are we sure?
Yeah. Yes, the button says stop recording, so I have not clicked it, so, you know.
Okay. I'm just cautious. Right.
Yeah, I don't want to press anything.
Well,
just
I
in
feel like
case.
we've been going for quite a bit.
We've been going for
So do we want to?
we've been going for an hour, at least.
Okay. So do we want to jump into specific little observations and then we'll do the questions?
Yeah.
Because there's, as you said, Josh, a lot of really cool little details in this movie. So I feel like we should just spend some time acknowledging those.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
I've led most of the conversation so far. If either of you two have a couple, you can dive in before me.
I mean, I can trim some of the. I can do what. No, who edited the Nightmare Before Christmas?
Who edited it? I don't know.
I can trim the fat on this.
Okay.
So yeah,
Oh, you mean okay? Yeah.
give it a couple.
Yeah, does anyone
pieces here and
Does anyone have like a fun little like a thing they want to
there.
just point out with this
Fun?
one?
Fun? No.
My favorite thing. So I don't know if this is quite what you're going for, but I remember. My favorite story about this is when Tim
Mhm.
Burton kicked a wall and broke it because someone tried to disagree with him. Either of you know about this?
No.
No, even I don't know this one.
Oh, this is great fun. So originally they wanted to make Oogie Boogie Dr. Frankenstein in disguise or something along those lines.
Ooh.
And Tim Burton thought that was such a dumb idea. He
That is
kicked a
that
hole in a
sucks.
wall. He was so angry at the idea that he literally kicked a hole in the wall. And obviously you've seen the film. Oogie Boogie is not Dr. Frankenstein in disguise.
Yeah.
No, he's a
Thankfully.
bag of bugs.
Oh, he's not though. He's a bug.
Sorry, yes,
He's
he's
a
one
bug.
bug.
Which is insane.
He's multiple
Like, how?
bugs.
What? No, no. Oh, so Ty, yeah, so you think he's not though? He's one bug that inhales other bugs and gets them to be his friends to make this big kind of like sack of bugs. But he himself is one bug that gets squished by Santa Claus. Santa Claus is a murderer. Confirmed.
Well,
So
you know, he murdered the boogeyman.
so it's not the
Well,
thing from
still.
Constantine.
No, it is not the thing Constantine.
Yeah,
I was gonna say note to self, put that in the edit, but you're editing anyway, Ty.
I have a thing I want to point out.
Yeah.
It's not fun. The children, you know, when Jack's like first in Halloween Town, going essentially, you know, the thing that's become a meme, like the fuck is in the air. That one. When he's like when he breaks
What's this?
when he commits B&E, when he literally breaks laws and breaks into that
Mhm.
house, and there's like 3 things sleeping in a bed. Those
Elves?
things are haunting. No, the 3 things.
You mean the elves?
Those
The
things
elves.
are haunting.
I think that's more just a flaw with the concept of stop motion animation, because everything in stop motion looks creepy.
No.
Not
Jack
true.
Skellington was fine. Every other character in that film was
But he-
fine, apart from those 3 little fuckers.
Well, that's it. They're supposed to look like that.
Creepy.
Elves are fun, happy creatures, so when you
No.
see them in stop motion, they look a bit funny. You know what I mean?
No, all the other elves in that town were fine,
Um,
apart from 3 in
I
the
do-
bed.
that's it. What's this? I rewatching the film for this, I realized just how creepy Jack is in that scene.
You just realised?
Like, well, because I think I just associate that scene with the song, which is like really fun and on my Christmas playlist.
Oh, you mean
And
when he's just creeping about with those
you know,
long ass legs?
well, that's it. Because he doesn't realize what he's doing, which is the clever thing about it. Like he's fully, like he's singing about the idea of the elves, like they're having peaceful dreams and there's nothing there to scare them, and then he fully gives one a nightmare, like by accident, without realizing. Which is just like foreshadowing to the concept of the movie. This is the inciting incident where, you know, eventually he's going to learn that he can't force his version of fun on everyone else on their things, because he doesn't actually get what's going on. He can't just take things. Yeah, it's a good scene. It's a good scene.
Sure.
It's a good film.
Also,
a good
why
film.
do you pick Thor? Why do you pick Christmas?
I love this
Thor?
movie. Because it's the prettiest one.
Because the film's called The Nightmare Before Christmas Time.
I was gonna say this. Obviously it's Halloween to Christmas because they're the most like they're the 2 holidays that are most like totally different from each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the most obvious way, and also where we are, they're the holidays that follow each other. But they're not in the country the film is from.
No, they have a
Thanksgiving.
So this film totally could have been The Nightmare Before Thanksgiving, and I'm so grateful it isn't, because that's a terrible idea.
Yeah, because it doesn't exactly have the same ring to it, does it?
That is a boring movie.
There's a horror movie called The Nightmare Before Thanksgiving. I guarantee it. There's a movie called The Nightmare
Well,
Before Thanksgiving.
There's a horror movie called Thanksgiving.
I'm looking. I'm going to see.
It's about a killer turkey.
Because why wouldn't it be?
I think that's something to do with Eli Roth.
That would check out, to be fair.
But yeah, a couple other things. You know the melting man
Yeah.
in this film, the guy that's melting. Do you know how they did that?
Not a clue, actually.
You had the same same reaction as the first time someone talked to me about this. Is you've never thought about it before.
Did they just start melting one of their models?
Well, they made his head out of wax. And then,
Okay.
so obviously, when you're doing stop motion, you move the model slightly, take a photo, move the model slightly, take a photo, yada yada.
Mhm.
Between shots, they put a hair dryer on him.
Whoa! So it was constantly like actually
So
melt.
he was just actually melting, but then like melting quickly and then slowly and then quickly and then slowly, so that the drips would capture in the photos.
Mm-mm.
Why would you not just
Mm.
do that consistent camera click? You know, the one that takes like.
Because it's 1993. Like the stop motion animation, like on this kind of budget, just didn't exist yet. They had to do it the old school ways, which is probably another reason why the movie is not even an hour and 20.
Yeah, but it
Point.
probably took about 3 weeks to do one scene.
Yeah, it took them a very long time to just you know, yeah, film what they did have. Um, a couple of things. I just want to point out the brilliant pun that is the name of, the names of the trick or treaters. They are Lock, Shock, and Barrel.
Yeah.
That's good. That's my whole observation there. I like that pun a lot.
I'm glad you like it.
just think that's a good pun.
I mean, it's just yeah, it's needless. They say their names once, and we're done. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. It's a little nice. In fact, do you know who voices Lock, Stock, and Barrel?
Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
No.
I took a stab, dude.
So two of them are other cast members in the film doing other voices. You've got Danny Elfman as Barrel, also the singing voice of Jack Skellington, and Catherine O'Hara, who voices Sally, is Shock. But Locke is voiced by Paul Rubens.
Ah,
Now, I've quizzed you two on this before. Do you remember who Paul Rubens is?
right. He's
Isn't he Pee Wee Herman?
Pee Wee Herman.
Yes.
I was going to say is he
So
not
the
the
little
one with the really gravelly voice that plays Iago, but that's not. That's
no, that's Gilbert Gottfried.
Gilbert Gottfried. Thank you.
So yeah, the little devil boy. That's Pee Wee Herman.
Ah,
And
Because naturally, why wouldn't it be?
there is a delightful video on YouTube where at you know how they do screenings of films like this with live orchestras.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a live video where Danny Elfman, Catherine O'Hara, and Paul Rubens showed up to one of those screenings and sang "Kidnap Mr. Sandy Claus" live.
Oh, fair enough.
I mean that.
Which I
Yes.
highly recommend watching. It's very nice. Paul Rubens is
Which
great.
is a messed up song, by the way. Let's just quickly throw that one in there. Really messed up. They're talking about like literally torturing Santa Claus.
They gonna chop him up. They're gonna bury him for 90
Yeah.
years just to see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I talk about the fact they didn't think they could market this movie to a wide audience, there is a song about three children murdering Santa Claus in it.
Yep. We're also not going to talk about the fact that you used to watch this as when you were younger.
The ending.
The ending.
They give Christmas back to Santa Claus, and then Jack realizes he's in love with Sally, and then the credits roll.
Oh, I thought you meant with the ending was a very anticlimactic villain battle.
Yeah, I will give you that. There is an maybe a slight pacing issue with the fact that I think it's a good scene. I like the showdown with Mr. Oogie Boogie.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the rest of the film, it's quite short.
It's
It is
just
quite
not,
short.
it's just
But
not the cool guy thing.
it looks good.
But to be fair, he does have maybe the best villain song in any animated movie ever, because I remember any of
Wrong.
it.
Wrong. Just wrong.
Well,
Just wrong.
unless you're gonna say the joke answer that I say all the time, there is no better villain song than Mr. Oogie Boogie
There
song.
is a better villain song than it.
What is a better villain song?
Okay, what's the joke one that you all always say so I don't say it?
Love is an open door.
No. It's Be Prepared by Scar.
No, be prepared
Okay,
is not a
you're
song.
both wrong, and you can both shut up. Thanks.
Okay, go
Clearly, neither of you
Go
have
ahead,
seen.
Josh.
I've seen Gaston's song from Beauty and the Beast, which is the greatest villain song of all time. Thank you.
Oh, what's his name? What's the guy that sings it called?
Gaston?
No, the small fat one.
Oh,
Lefair.
The Fair,
Lefer.
yeah.
Lefair. Right, that is Lefair's king love letter to Gaston.
Oh yeah.
Also, the villain song, and it's better than any other song that you guys have
I
mentioned.
didn't think of
A villain
Gast.
song.
I didn't think of
A
Gast. I
villain
like
song
Gaston.
is sung by the villain.
Gaston is the villain.
No, Gaston is, and he sings
Gaston
most of the song.
barely sings it. It's LeFou. LeFou.
Nope.
whatever his
It's
name is.
about. It's called Gaston.
Yeah, it's about Gaston.
It is the best villain song.
It's Be Prepared.
Be
No,
prepared is
it's also
barely a
not.
song.
It's also not that great of a song.
Do you know
It's
what?
not. It's
Do
a
you know
great
what,
scene.
Nathan?
It's barely a song.
Nathan, right now, right now, you're gonna go on Instagram and say what is the best Disney villain song. We need answers.
Okay, but the thing is, I couldn't hum the melody to be prepared or say any of the lyrics.
It's totally Nazi Germany. It's the best one.
That's it. It's a great scene. It's not a song.
It is. See, do you
You're
know,
wrong,
do you know
Ty,
who
I'm
would
sorry.
have the top
Miss-
tier? Do you know who would have top song? It'd be Hades if Hades had a theme song.
I
Hades doesn't
so
need a theme
wish there was a villain. There should be a villain song in Hercules.
There
That
should
film
be a
is
villain
missing
song.
a villain song.
Hades is
Um,
missing a villain song. Just his own little demon cheerleaders. Just boom.
Um, Usual questions. Is this? I forgot to ask a person before I started asking the question. Josh, you go first.
Uh-huh.
Normally, is
Sure.
this? Would you recommend this movie just
Ye-
in a general sense?
Yep. Would you like an explanation? Just that
I
song.
mean, you can
Yeah.
give one word answer if you want. Okay,
Yes,
so
I
there's
would
one
recommend.
word answer.
Okay, wait, hang on. I'm also dealing with something. Yes, I would definitely recommend this film because even if you haven't seen it as a kid, then you need to make amends for the poor childhood that you did have. So yeah, watch the film
Wow.
and you'll love it.
That's fair.
Wow.
Ty,
Yeah.
same question. In a general sense, do you recommend this movie?
Honestly, Josh had a great childhood. I must say no. And I'm going to tell you why. If you get to... What's the middle age between me and you guys? Like 23, 24? Call it 23, 24.
You're so old, time.
I'd still crush you. In fact,
Yeah,
I
'cause you'd
did
sit on-
in the summer. Right. If you get to like 23, 24 and you've seen like clips or something of this movie and you have not decided to watch it, don't. Because you will have the same reaction I had and sit there and go, it's fine. Especially if you've watched other Tim Burton movies. And then you're thinking, hey, I could have watched most of another movie in the hour and 16 minutes I watched this movie.
Wow.
Yeah. Nathan, would you recommend this movie?
One to say my name, but
What?
yeah, of course I do. I love this movie. It's one of my favorite movies.
Did you
I'm
say
gonna.
I didn't want you to say my name?
No, I said you won the race to say my name.
Oh, right.
Usually Josh beats you.
Usually.
Thought you needed a win this time.
Dude, I've been taking
Um,
dubs all summer. I've been taking dubs.
But yeah, of course I recommend this movie. I love this film. I'm actually gonna. I'm gonna. Ty, you pointed out it's an hour and 16. It's a short film. You're not wasting a lot of time on this thing. Like, it's a really iconic movie. Even if you walk away vaguely indifferent, at least you know what people are talking about. You know?
Yeah, but
Like, it's one of those, it's a touchstone movie, you may as well just see it. And it's barely a time commitment.
Don't do that because High Fidelity is a touchstone movie and no thank you.
Oh, I meant touchstone as in, like, referenceable, not as in the studio touchdown.
Oh right.
I realised that it's both. That's on me. But who cares about if a movie's good or not? That's not what we're here to talk about, boys. That's not what we do here. We're looking for midnight screenings here. So, Josh, is this a midnight screening?
Yeah, I think it's a great wee palate cleanser, if nothing else. Because I mean,
Alex,
you've watched a couple of weird movies, and you've got some more things coming. Especially if it's like if you're doing like a horror night one or a Christmas night one, it's like perfect. There's like 3 months period. This just fits right in because you can just watch it as like a nice hour and 60 minute long. That's when you have when you're refilling your snacks. You're waiting on the pizza to arrive. You just ordered it, that kind of thing. It's just nice, and you can just enjoy the nice bit of peace, relaxing. You can sing along. Yes, why wouldn't it be? Because it's also a great film that everyone should watch.
Yeah, people, if you
Yeah.
want the sorbet between the meat that is Friday the 13th and the fucking mint chocolate that is Home Alone, sure. Fuck, okay.
Insane movie night are you planning that starts with Friday the 13th and ends at Home
Ah,
Alone?
no. I never said we're planning that starts with Friday the 13th and ends with Home Alone. I'm saying the movie before Night Before Christmas, the horror movie, Friday the 13th. Then Nightmare Before Christmas. Then you watch Home Alone to get into your Christmas movies, and you end your Christmas movies with Die Hard, obviously.
We've established that already.
Yeah. You start
If
your
you want to know
horror,
our thoughts on Die Hard, you can find those easily.
you start your horror movie with like Scream or something. You start with a nice slasher, then move into the other stuff.
Is that your answer to the question?
Is that a midnight screening?
Yeah.
Yes. I would watch this with my boys with a couple of drinks. And Josh is right, it's a snack filler. It is that. So
And you can
concentrate.
sing along.
This is Halloween.
This is
Halloween.
see.
Yeah, anyway. Yeah.
Nathan, do you think this is a midnight screening? Suck a tie.
Yeah, I'm gonna echo most of what you guys have said. It's so short. You may as well. Like, I think this movie gets better with other people because, like Josh said, it's a musical that you can sing along with. It's fun and campy. It's great. Of course, it's a midnight screening. It's a perfect midnight screening.
I wouldn't say perfect midnight screen, but yeah, it's up there.
Once again, it's an hour 60. If you start this at the time we would normally start most of our movie nights, it wouldn't even be midnight by the time the film was over. Like,
That's
you
true.
fit a
Put
whole
this
other
on
movie in there.
whilst deciding what other films to watch, because that's how long it usually
Totally,
takes
yeah.
anyway.
I'm realizing right now that we didn't explain why we're doing this movie, so people are probably confused.
Because I'm a genius. There we go, explained.
I was gonna say, yeah, people, you may notice that it is not the correct time to watch this movie, based on whatever your opinions are on the correct time to watch this movie. But Ty had an idea, so Ty, it was your idea. So if you want to explain why we're reviewing it now?
So when discussing movies that we could potentially watch, we needed I don't want to say filler episode because that's wrong. We needed an episode that would perfectly combine Halloween and Christmas. Now we do understand we haven't done a Halloween episode. We do apologise. It was very difficult to get all three of us together to do this, and it is currently 9:37 at night. Just for anyone that's listening. So we need a filler episode, and I slammed the counter and went Nightmare Before Christmas, and Nathan went genius, and that was it.
That's it. We're recording this, potentially releasing it bang in the middle of Halloween and Christmas. So
Hopefully,
Screw your
Hey, so it's actually the perfect time.
yeah, screw your argument about whether or not this is a Halloween movie or a Christmas movie. Most of the movie takes place in November.
When is
So
Thanksgiving?
November.
End of November. Yeah.
Right, because when
Um,
I was researching this, it actually said Night Before Christmas is a Thanksgiving movie. So,
I've
just for
heard that a few
funsies,
times. Yeah.
imagine if I got it out in time for
Um,
Thanksgiving.
yeah. Uh, and one last thing before we wrap up, because with Die Hard we set the precedent that even though we hate the obvious questions, we may as well just do them anyway because people are gonna ask, uh, Halloween or Christmas? Which is it? What is this film? Which one does it fit in better?
Josh, you go first.
It's both. I just said it.
Nah.
Stuff this whole it has to be one or the other. No. So let's call it A Nightmare Before Christmas. It has them both in it. Why pick one? No, don't. It's both. Shut up.
You just refusing to play.
Because it's not a fair question.
You
The
weren't
film
even.
is about Halloween people enjoying Christmas or having a Christmas. Therefore, it's both a Halloween film and a Christmas film. It gives you a
Exactly.
3-month grace period of watching it as well. It's a
I
great film,
agree.
so why
That's
not
why
have
we're.
3 months?
That is why we're doing it now. But that's not the question.
Well, that's my answer.
You're
Sticking to it.
you're even more upset about this than when I made you do the Die Hard one.
Alright.
Hi.
Yeah. Nathan, you'll appreciate the ratio. It's 75% Halloween, 25% Christmas. Boom. It's a Halloween movie.
Well, I have completely the opposite view. I would say it's more of a Christmas movie.
It's Halloween. Like most of
But
the
it's a
themes and the start, the middle, and the end are all Halloween
Look,
themed. There's a little.
it's aesthetically very Halloween, but it's all about the spirit of Christmas.
So just to get it straight, what we're saying is we've got one person that's saying both, one person saying Halloween, one person saying Christmas, which means it all equals out to it's both. Sorted.
Yeah. So
No,
we're
no,
We've
back
answered
to
the
who
question.
You
cares.
don't win here, Josh. You don't win here. That's not how it works. It's a
No,
stalemate.
what we've realized is that we're back to where we started, and that is it doesn't matter.
No,
Very true. Watch the movie. It's great. Doesn't
what we
matter the time of
understand
year.
is most of the time we will argue about literally everything, and we will find, even if there's only two options, we will find a third option, and one person will support that option.
Hello.
So, that's the show. We're out. Thank you everyone for listening.
Well
As
done if you did.
always, yeah, this was a particularly rambly episode, but maybe it translated. I hope it did. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching or listening, I guess, on YouTube, there'll be a link to the Spotify. Follow us on there. Listen to us on the go. Maybe you want to do that. That could be cool. Also, rate us on there. That really helps with visibility. Um, Subscribe to the YouTube channel, etc. Links for everything will be in the description if you want to follow us on Twitter or you want to follow our individual Instagram, stuff like that. Just it'll all be in there. You can find it. Next episode will be the Christmas special. Get excited for that. Obviously, thanks to Josh and Ty for doing another one of these.
You're welcome.
And that's it. That's the show.
That's it. That's the show.
Perfect outro.
That's all,
Beautiful
folks.
outro.
Thanks for listening.
Literally so professional. So happy.
Hashtag
Professional.
professionalism.
Doses.